bunch of cyclists out for their morning run, ride, whatever. On the top of that rise now, we're just about to cross the railway line, take it onto Sloane Street, stand right off the bridge, head back towards the main part of town. You made better time than I did, mate. Above all the other sounds of cars, trains, people like me talking, whatever, you hear the clack of these running shoes that I'm wearing. I told you I'm wearing Asics at the moment. The previous brand I had were Adidas. I don't say one's better than the other, just bloke in the shoe store said these are good and they're in my price range. One thing I'd noticed about them is that they seem to be harder on the base, and that's why they make that sound. Other shoes I wore didn't seem to be quite so loud. Of course, I wasn't wearing a camera and having it record my footsteps, but I know when I was doing park run, people could often hear me coming behind them because of my heavy footsteps. I think it's the way I run. I'm not a particularly big person, I think I'm about 80 kilos. Maybe a bit more, a bit less, I don't know, around 80. But I think it's the way I run. I look at my old shoes and I see the wear pattern is on the outside of the heels. And I think I must be doing a pretty heavy heel strike. I've tried to change my running style to land more on the centre of my foot or even on the ball. I just don't seem to be able to do it. Off to the right there, access to East Goulburn, Blackshaw Road. Got a railway line there. When it rains, that access is cut off because it floods. There's a barrier that automatically comes down and closes the road. It means you've got to go not round over the Main Street Bridge because that also floods, around the back of Rocky Hill, out of town a bit, around the back of Rocky Hill if you need to go up there. You probably get over the Bungonia Bridge and maybe along Forbes Street that way now, but this here is Clinton Street, as you can see on the sign there. up ahead the railway station, and a little cottage on the right hand side there. I think that might have been the station master's residence at one stage. Not sure what it is now, but it might have been in the historic times station master's residence. A whole bunch of money spent doing up the railway station again recently. It's all fancy and accessible by everybody. It didn't have standard approved disability access. Well, apparently now it does. Just back there, 12 kilometres. Tall, sort of creamy building on the left hand side here is the old Goulburn police station. The current one's a couple of blocks further down. Now, as you can see, a bookstore, books and comics and stuff. Around the corner in Montague Street is the courthouse. There are cells, or used to be cells for the prisoners. That's the right word. People would appear in court that were in custody, kept in the cells and then taken to the courthouse. Folklore says there are tunnels under the police station to the courthouse. That is only folklore, there are no tunnels. It's crossing Montague Street now and into Belmore Park. Again, just knowing more about Belmore Park, I have a video on my channel. Just what I did with a lot of those videos I mentioned is I just go around places that I'm interested in, like here, take a whole bunch of photos, use some software on my computer, and then upload them to YouTube. I do it because they're things that I'm interested in, and I hope other people will be interested in it too. Off on the left hand side there's a large oak tree. It's known as the Lady Belmore tree, and there's a Lady Belmore tree because Lady Belmore, along with her husband, maybe I can't remember, they came to Goulburn at the opening of the railways in the 18-somethings and planted that tree, and it's still really the original tree. Like many country towns, there's a park in the middle of the town, and there's always a rotunda. And in the olden days, when we had TV and YouTube and gadgets in our hands to entertain ourselves, people would come to the park and the brass band would play. That would be the Sunday entertainment. Crossing under Auburn Street now, just in front of the Auburn Workers Club. CBD's a bit quiet. It's a bit after 8, I think. Businesses are just opening. Shops just getting ready for the day. Turning into Clifford Street. Coming up to Burke Street on the right hand side, Goulburn Public School, known as Burke Street School in Goulburn, one of Goulburn's oldest schools, and directly in front of me here, the Goulburn Civic Centre, which contains all the council's administrative offices and the Southern Regional Art Gallery. straight ahead, the entrance to Victoria Park, turning left into Faithful Street now. Making my way up the path here towards Montague Street. Made it across Montague Street. I start looking for the next marker, which would be one of these cars just up here, or maybe the orange sign on the other side of the road. Orange sign, by the way, he's advertising COVID testing in there. Whether it'll still be there when you get to see this video, I don't know, but it's there now. So looking at markers, I mean, I'll keep going till I get to that point. In this case, there'll be the white car just ahead of me. When I get there, I've already got that far. Just keep going to the next bit, or you're on top of the rise, or whatever it is that you're thinking about. Might be on the downhill side now. Through the fence here on my right hand side, Seaford Oval, cycling velodrome and cricket. Had a new pavilion a couple of years back, and the grandstand all refurbished, and floodlighting and night cricket, and cycling during the summertime, spring and summer. And now I can say, when you're on the downhill run down Faithful Street to Clinton Street, they just keep going. .14 kilometres, so probably about 14.5, 14.6 by the time I get back home. Make a right hand turn at the bottom here. Clinton Street, and up the slope, I guess that's the best word for it, rise towards the red letterbox up there. What used to be a corner shop, it was an antique shop for a while. Now I think it's just someone's house. reached the red letterbox. I keep going now. Find myself when you'll soon be across Coromandel Street here. Some people might think, or might say to me, you spent less time thinking about where you were going and what milestone or mark you were coming to and ran. You might do better. I don't know. Just find it helps to keep me going sometimes. Try to get to a point and say, well, I've got to get to the next point, which in this case will be across Coromandel Street here. Made that. Up here's the laneway. I don't know the name of the laneway. I don't know. It's in two parts. Take the first section here. This is Mayor Street. Cross that in the second section of the laneway. I'd like to think I had something left for the finish, but I don't. I just keep putting one leg in front of the other. Victoria Park across the road, over left here. And stop. Saving review activity, yes. Timing zone, as you can see. 14.6 kilometres today. As I said, you can see that on the camera, 14.6 kilometres in 1 hour and 31 minutes. I'll keep the camera running while I do my cool down in a moment. I was talking about my other gadget that shows GPS, so on. That's this device here. Tap this, stop tracking. Tap there, tells me 14.52 kilometres in 1 hour and 33 minutes. And a graph of speed and so on. And there's a map of where we went. I'll upload that to, I'll send it to my email and then put it on the video at the end. All right.